All right.
The towels.
Oh man, look at that guy.
Good to see you.
Good to see you. Damn, y'all look old.
Oh, you do. And you look like you could hit a.
Dante looks exactly the same.
Yeah, well, minus the hair, you could still hit a 14th inning
It's
home run,
softball.
right?
I get a softball too.
I mean, anyone's way. I hope not.
Hey,
Tell us.
there's
Wait a
good-looking
second.
guy, bald guy. Is that
Yeah,
Vinny?
that's more in shape. Vinny's
Vinny's
up
out
there,
there, yeah.
with Redmond.
Very nice.
Fun day, huh? What are your expectations?
To remember the day, you know, to remember the days. I've already seen so many people that I haven't seen in a little bit. I manage to get out here once a year, and I just love seeing them because they bring back good memories. So, and the fans too. I did an appearance in Greeley this off season, or in the winter, and forget her name, but she was an 84-year-old lady. Came, she drove 4 hours. She said she was here opening night when I hit the walk off, and I mean that means a lot to me. You know? When we get older, so those things I think mean a little bit more to us, and that meant a lot to me that she came all that way to see me. A lot of people tell me that they were here that night. Oh, I was there when you hit the walk-off. Yeah, you might have started out here, but you didn't end up here because it got cold that night. There wasn't too many people left when I hit that walk-off, but God bless those that did stick around.
Was that night a little bit like last night? I read it was 42 degrees and wet is what it said for the game.
I'm going to say it was colder than that. Does anybody remember? It was colder than that. Was it at 30s?
Wasn't it?
I think
I'm
first
from
pitch
Florida.
was
It
40.
was like minus 20.
I think first pitch was like 42, and then it went down from there.
That's exactly right. That's what happened. It
Yeah.
started okay, and then it ended up, everybody was frozen.
When you walk in here, are there times that you kind of walk in and you put yourself back in the batter's box when you get that?
Absolutely. Every minute I walk in this place, I feel like I need to get my uni on because I was always late. You remember me? I was always late, so I feel like I'm late. I need to get my uni on. So, you know, yeah, I do. I feel it. I just remember it. I picture faces when I walk around the stands because I knew all those people in the stands out there. You know, and I wonder where they are now and what they're doing now. And it was the same characters every night yelling at me. I'd throw them a ball, you know, and it's kind of neat.
Dante, do you remember the first time, not the game, but the first time you stepped inside the new Coors Field and what your impressions were of the ballpark when it was brand spanking new?
So I thought it was the most beautiful stadium I saw when I stepped in here, and I go watch my son play. I get to all the stadiums, and it's still the most beautiful ballpark, without a doubt. I mean, Camden Yards, it was kind of built off that kind of. Camden Yards still pretty, but this place, they took it a step, and it's just the best place there is to play ball. It's the most unique place, obvious, we know. It's more baseball than you get anywhere else, we know that, right? And it's still just the greatest place to play ball.
You played over a decade and with 5 teams, but 1995, the Colorado Rockies must mean something special to you.
Yeah, it was my big year. It was a playoff year. I hit .588 in the playoffs against the best pitching staff ever. I'll take that. You didn't know that. It was just a great year. From the minute, a lot of people don't remember, but I was not signed in spring training. And Don Baylor called me at the last minute, just late into spring training, I believe, and said, hey, I want you on this team. I said, I'll be on the next flight. I called my agent. I said, whatever, get it done. I'm signed for 1 year. I ended up having that big year and signed for 3 more years, and then played a couple more years after that. But that was Don Baylor. He was the reason that I played in the big leagues for any amount of time. He was the guy who believed in me. Everybody needs that guy that gives them an opportunity. Don Baylor was that guy. God bless him. I wish he was here to share this with me now because he was, I don't get that opportunity if it ain't for him. And he was a good, and people who know Don Baylor was better than a good man.
Dante, do you think they should be retiring Dante Baylor's number?
Dante Baylor's number?
I mean, sorry,
yeah, absolutely. Don Baylor's number?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would like to see that.
Dante,
I tell you a little bit about Don Baylor. Just here's how in tune Don Baylor was. I didn't miss many days. If you remember, I was kind of a grinder. I'd go out there maybe 4 or 5 days a year I'd miss. And I remember going home to my wife on every one of those before I'd missed that day, and I'd say, it was a bad game. Obviously, it was probably a couple bad games. And I tell my wife, there's no way I can play tomorrow. I mean, I'm just exhausted. I can't see the ball. No way I can play tomorrow. And the next day I'd be out of the lineup. And I call my wife, did you talk to anybody? Did you call Don? Did you call Becky, his wife? Did you call, how in the world? This guy always knew. He always knew. And I ended up asking him one day, I said, how do you always know when I just got nothing in the tank? And he goes, you were easy. He goes, every time you started swinging the ball when it hit the grass, you were done the next day. So, but he was so in tune with his players. I never saw anybody like him. The best. I wish we'd have got him a World Series ring that one year, and because he was the best.
It's a big picture question, but what does this organization mean to you? Why are you so eager to come back so often?
I mean, this is kind of, this is my history. This is when Jerry McMorris talked to the team in the old Mile High Stadium, he said, a lot of you don't realize what you're about to get into. And I don't know if you were around then, but the fan sport back then was crazy. I think we averaged 64,000. We had 80-some thousand opening day. We sold out here from, say, 4 or 5 years straight. The fans were crazy. And we didn't know what we were getting. And we heard it was, but we didn't know. And then I remember opening day, we were like overwhelmed. And he said, a lot of you guys, this is your shot. Make the most of it. This is your chance to make it. And I really thought about that. I said, boy, this. I think I was 29. I'm not young, and nobody had ever given me a chance. So this was my chance. And so this is where I made it happen, So this is, to me, is just real special to me.
Did you find it remarkable that the Rockies, in just their third year of existence, made the playoffs from expansion team the third year and they made it?
Yeah, I think that's difficult. You got to give Bob Gebhardt a lot of love right there, and Baylor a lot of love for that. Now, they were able to go out, and if you think about just the Blake Street Bombers, because there were a lot more of the bullpen we had, Ruffin, and how they got those guys, how do you pull that off? But if you think about that lineup we had and how they pulled that off, I don't know if you could do that in today's game. I just don't know if you could pull that lineup out. Galarraga, Walker, me, Vinny, Ellis. I don't know if you could pull that off in today's game. You know what I'm saying? That was just amazing general managing. He pulled it off, and we were just a force here at home. I think we have the record still for the most wins at home. We were a force here. We knew we were going to win here. And I think that's how you got to play in Colorado. You got to win the home games.
Dante, it was a short spring training and even shorter for you, but how did you guys feel about the team coming out of spring training? And what did that game here and the way you won it, how did that change the way you guys felt about yourselves in that season?
I think we knew we were a good offensive team, and you could tell by the frustration of some of the players around the league when they said, oh, it's only an expansion team. And they're like, that ain't an expansion team. And yeah, we weren't expansion players, but we were an expansion team, right? I mean, Galarraga was not an expansion player. Walker and those guys. Walker wasn't here that night, but you could tell by the reactions of players around the league, we were better than what an expansion team, and we knew that. We knew offensively that we could hit, and that we were, as really on paper even, we were about as good as anybody offensively.
Hey, did you get the baseball?
Yeah, I got the baseball.
Sorry, I'm sorry.
I got the baseball. It's not a baseball I talk about the home run a lot. I always get talked about the home run. The baseball I like to show a lot is actually, do you know who hit the first home run in Coors Field history?
I do not know.
Anybody know that?
Yeah.
Rico
Brodia.
No.
At the previous game?
Are we talking March?
Yeah.
Exhibition game?
Talking about March?
Exhibition game. I hit the first home run against the Yankees in the exhibition game. And that ball I have, and I talk about that ball a lot because the guy who got it dove over the railing, smashed his head. I think he had to have stitches. Blood everywhere, all over the ball. He gave me the ball. I got the ball. There's blood all over. Still, I've got that ball. That one I can talk about a little bit more. But I love to go through the at-bat against Maddox in the playoffs was my greatest at-bat, but this was I don't know if I ever felt better than I felt after the home run for opening day here.
So Dante, that at-bat, Girardi had singled, and then Bogart made an error for somebody to get. So, you needed 3 runs, and then you get at the plate. Were you thinking?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I thought home run most every at bat. That was nothing new. And then 2 strikes, I tried to shoot it over there. But for 2 swings, I was going to try to hit one as far as I could hit one. And if I missed, I was fine with that. And we can talk about that hitting philosophies later. But
I know.
But I don't remember the error.
Okay.
Remember Joe in the game? I remember he in the game. I think I do remember the hit. I remember Walker, I think, hit a double in that game to get us back in the game. Remember it was a seesaw game, and I remember remember after the game I watched it probably 2 million times, and I remember it was Joe Miller and Joe Morgan were doing that game.
Yeah.
And Joe Miller said to Joe Morgan, "Well, Joe, it looks like Dante's trying to hit a homer or do a little too much tonight." And Joe Morgan said, "Well, it's opening day. Home run hitters want to hit home runs." And I think the next pitch I hit out of the park. So that was kind of cool. Perfect timing.
And how did the way that you guys won that, how that defined your relationship with Coors Field, the team's relationship?
I think it was big. I don't know. It'd be tough to really say that was it, but I think it was big because very shortly thereafter, it was just a good feeling in this dugout, down 3 in the 5th. It's like we got it right where we want them. They're not going to blow us out, they're going to lose. You know what I'm saying? And you get blown out once in a while here, but if they're not going to blow us out, they're going to lose if we're down 3 in the 5th. You know what I'm saying? Because somebody's going to hit a 3-run homer. Somebody else is going to hit a 2-run. I mean, we're going to pull this one out. So that's how we kind of felt here. And a lot of people don't realize some of the stuff Don Baylor would do is put me, Walker, Galarraga, and Vinny in the last group in batting practice, and so when the pitching staff is stretching over there, they had to watch us hit in batting practice. So there was a lot of pitchers knew that it was going to be done. The game was not over early, and this park just played. It was a good place for us.
Dante, there was that
Go ahead.
iconic moment where you have the fist up, you look into the dugout. Did you actually see the ball land, or did you hit it, know it, and let your teammates know?
You know when you get it. You know when you get it. I didn't have to watch it, but. Yeah, the fist pump, and Hundley was screaming at me. I still don't know what he said, but I'm sure he wasn't real happy with me because he was chasing me up the first base line. And back in those days, you get in trouble for the fist pump. Nowadays, it's like you can do whatever you want. But back in those days, but that was just too exciting. It was too exciting. I had to throw the fist pump up there, and it's legendary now. That fist pump, I hear it. I see it all the time. People come up to me and like, "Hey." Every opening day, I know it's opening day because I get a text, "Hey, you were just on TV," and I'll never show the opening day.
Did you ever do that before that at bat? Do you remember ever doing that?
I don't think I ever did that before or after, ever. No, that was the only fist pump I ever. I had the signature recoil. That was my thing, but the fist pump was that was the only time, I think.
Didn't Baylor call it the Shucky Ducky or something?
Shuggy Ducky, yeah, the Shuggy Ducky. That was Marvin Freeman, which, if you guys remember Marvin, he was a clown, and he phrased it with that Shuggy Ducky thing you do, and I was like, yeah, and it took off. Everybody Shuggy Ducky after that.
That's awesome.
Anything else?
One thing, do you remember hitting your 3rd home run ever off of Bud Black?
Yeah, because Bud always tells me about it, and I do remember it, and I can explain that one too if anybody. I was in Cleveland, and I think they told me it was the only ball ever went in the blue seats in Cleveland, and they said it was either you or Rocky Calavita hit the longest ball in Cleveland, and it was off Bud Black, and I was really pissed that day, and it was a angry swing because they were playing with my. It was before I got a chance. It was with the Brewers, and I was just frustrated. I said, "Dadgummit!" I just went out there with a lot of anger, and I'm like, you know what? Ted Williams once said, "Hitters got to play with a little anger. They got to play with. They got to channel it, but they got to play with anger." And that day, I played with anger, and I hit probably the longest ball I ever hit in the big leagues off of Buddy. Buddy was just happened to be there that day, but Buddy was tough. He got in my kitchen a few times. He was tough, man.
Thanks, okay.
That was awesome, man. Thank you.
You were 4 for 20 also.
Just
so you know, but
We're not talking about
I know. But that was first pitch, by the way.
Yes.